All right. Before I start this episode, I'm going to give my friend Mario a call. He's a super nice guy. He's a good friend of mine. He's a big Heat fan. And, I'm just going to see how he's doing today. I'm just going to check on him real quick. Let me give him a call. I'll put him on speaker for you guys, if he even answers.
Hello?
Hey, how you doing? Good morning, dude.
Hey, fuck you, bro. Heat and 7.
Wow, that's the only word that comes out of my mouth. I was at the game last night, and for those of you that know me, I was posting videos on my story. I went on Instagram Live, and it was just I don't even know how to start this video. So I didn't know how to start this video, so I figured I would just start by paying some respects and giving credit to some players for both of these teams, because this was an ugly game from both teams, and it was also a game that the way this game played out was expected in terms of how close this game was going to be, but the performances from specific players were not something that I thought were going to happen. So I want to pay some respects, and if I look down, it's because I have these notes on my phone. So I'm going to start with the Celtics because they won the game. Derek White shooting the lights out. I'll get to him in a second, okay, because he's obviously the hero of this whole thing. Marcus Smart, who gets all the love, he gets all the hate from his own fan base. And rightfully so. There's a lot of times where the ball finds him late game, clutch time, and bad things happen sometimes. It's normal. Those things happen. But, he was making his shots. He was getting to the rim. He was making the right decisions. Marcus Smart had a huge game last night. I give all the props to Marcus Smart. Shout out to Jason Tatum, who had a great first half. He kind of disappeared in the second half. It almost felt like he wasn't even out there for a long stretch of that second half, but shout out to Jaylen Brown, just locked in this entire game. And the Celtics are so blessed to have that second option on their team. Like, top to bottom, we all agree the Celtics have all the talent in this series. And like I said, the Celtics have a second team All-NBA as their second option in Jaylen Brown. And what does he do? He shows up big time throughout the game. During whatever cold moments or whatever moments that Jason Tatum disappears, Jaylen Brown takes over. And that's huge. And that's exactly why this team was favored to win this series before the series started. But before I get to those Heat respects, because there are a few respects that definitely need to be named out there. Joe Mazzulla, coach of the Celtics, for all the slander, for all the year one coach BS, that he gets. And some of the stuff is, I understand, I get it. Obviously, the lack of using timeouts to stop the bleeding, the lack of adjustments, you always hear that. But he outcoached Spoelstra this game. And I don't know if anyone's really talking about that. He used his timeouts really well when the leads were getting cut. He drew up a great play that ended up turning into some broken play where Derek White puts it back in at the last second. Using Tatum as a decoy, right? A little bit of misdirection from that inbound. It was amazing because it created the little bit of space that Marcus Smart had to put up a shot, which was well guarded. It was well guarded. The Heat defended so well, but at the very end of that shot, the shot is missed. There's no box out. Derek White tips it in at the last second, and it's just... That was an incredible... At the arena, I feel like I'm all over the place. At the arena, it is extremely loud the moment Jimmy Butler gets fouled for those 3 free throws. Every single free throw. The arena was exploding. They were so loud in there. And I was thinking to myself, wow, so this is how it ends. It ends with 3 clutch Jimmy Butler shots, or free throws. Of course, there's 3 seconds left, and I think to myself, there's a ton of time, but the Celtics have really struggled in chaos to get good looks, to get the ball to their most effective scorer. It ends up in the hands of Marcus Smart, and I think to myself, I don't think this one's going to go in. He misses it, and like I said, the rest is history. Derek White makes that tip in. It was crazy. I want to pay respects to the Miami Heat players, which, I mean, all postseason long, these guys, in bursts, right? Duncan Robinson, but I just want to start with the first respect. Gabe Vincent, he has been a gem for the Heat. Just unbelievable. There is no shot that Gabe Vincent shoots that I don't think is going to go in. Like, I am so confident in his ability to shoot the ball. It's incredible because only very few players, elite players, give you that feeling. And I get that feeling when Gabe Vincent is shooting the ball. I don't know, what it is. He is extremely confident. He's such a gem for the Heat. So crucial for this team. Shout out to Duncan Robinson. All year long, you hear it all year. Oh, he's overpaid. The Heat should have never paid him. It's a bunch of hindsight because he deserved the money because of what he did the year before, right? Great shot maker, just ultimate green light from Eric Spoelstra. He showed up in this game, flat out. He's going to have defensive mistakes. Those are his flaws, right? He's not a perfect player. He is there for shot making, and that's what he did, So shout out to Duncan Robinson. Caleb Martin, just, my God, he's just like Gabe Vincent, just one of those guys that obviously the talent, people will not know who he is. Now everyone knows who Caleb Martin is, and he gets to the rim. His finishing game is just so good. He's so good around the rim. Just, there is no layup that I feel like he can miss either. This dude can finish in any situation. Super confident also. Just another gem that the Heat have found. I want to just also not let this escape me. Everyone showed up for the Heat except Bam and Jimmy. What happened? What happened in this game? Jimmy Butler was a no-show for 3 straight quarters. Where is the best player on this team? Because all I'm seeing is everyone else doing their job. Jimmy Butler, who looks like he's saving himself for the crucial moments in the game, and I give him all the credit. Fourth quarter was insane. 15 points in a fourth quarter is no joke. Jimmy Butler balled out in the fourth quarter, but just for my opinion, if he's your best player, you can't just get 1 quarter out of Jimmy Butler. You need a totality of a game. You need him for long stretches in the game, not in bursts, because this is just such a, this is what kind of decides what the series, this decides your season potentially, because going to Game 7 in Boston, it is so unlikely to come out with a win, especially with how Boston has found their confidence. They found their game. They're back to the way they were playing in the regular season. They almost threw this game. Boston almost threw this game, which makes me more sad for you Heat fans, because it's like, man, you just get half of Jimmy for 4 quarters straight, and you guys win the game. Even with this horrible Bam game, you guys still win this game if you just get a half Jimmy Butler for 4 quarters. Bam, 6'9", 250 pounds. Where is he? I couldn't find him. I couldn't find Bam. That is so unacceptable. He grabbed a lot of rebounds. I think he had 13 rebounds. I'm not looking at the box score right now. But again, you're the second best player on the team. Where are you? Where are you? You're not motivated by what you're seeing from Caleb, from Gabe, from Duncan Robinson. What's the problem? What is going on? What is going on? And I gotta ask also, obviously I'm not a coach, but Kevin Love didn't play in this game. I get it. I had a conversation with a friend of mine. Defensively, it's a problem, right? Because he's a target, obviously. We know he's a cone, a traffic cone on defense, but he stretches the floor. Now, the Heat shot elite from three last night, which is incredible to think about because the Celtics shot like 20% from three. So if you told me the Celtics are going to play in Miami, shoot 20% from three, while the Heat shoot 40% from three, and the Celtics are still going to come away with that win, something went horribly wrong, if that's the story. And that's exactly what it was. It was a meltdown for 3 quarters for Jimmy. It was a meltdown all game for Bam. And that was the game. You know, I just wanted to quickly address this game. It was an awesome game. It was one of the best games that I've ever attended. I watched LeBron win his first ring when they beat OKC. We had season tickets to those. That was a super special moment. I hold that as probably the top, kind of moments of me watching games in person. This one is right there, and I've seen Kobe many times. For anyone that doesn't know me, doesn't follow the channel, Kobe is my favorite player of all time. I don't think he's the best player of all time, but he's my favorite. And I watched a lot of Kobe. I watched a lot of Kobe games here in Miami. And this was just right there with the Heat championship. It was just for my experience of going to a game in person, obviously. Just an incredible game. The life just gets sucked out of the arena when that tip-in gets ruled as a basket. It was incredible. That sucks for the Heat fans. Like I said, I'm mind blown by the way this game went. It was just, I don't know what else to say. So I'm going to go ahead and end this quick little video that I wanted to just put out, just kind of my thoughts after the game. I gave the game a rewatch this morning before I decided to make this video, just to kind of, refresh and get another angle of the game. Because when you're in person, yes, you're obviously watching the game from, it's a great angle. I had really good seats last night. But when you watch it on TV or on your laptop the next day, you get a more controlled environment to watch the game, right? Like, you hear the broadcast team, you're sitting in your own space, there's no one kind of like just yelling in your ear, kind of distracting you and things like that. So, it's just a different watch. And yeah, man, it was an awesome game. It was an ugly game for both teams. And I can't believe that the Heat lose an ugly game, because I was saying on my pod, which I do 2 times a week on Spotify, on Apple Podcast, that the Heat do such a great job of winning ugly games. And this was just one of the games they dropped, and I blame Bam and I blame Jimmy Butler for, Jimmy had heroics in the fourth quarter for sure. He was a hero in the fourth quarter, but if he just shows up for one more quarter, right? Just one more quarter. I'm not even... I said I wanted him for 4 quarters, even half of himself, just 1 quarter, an extra quarter of a decent Jimmy Butler, and we're talking about a whole different ball game. That's gonna do it for this one. This is the All Things Basketball Podcast. I'm your host, Vic Lopez, as always, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.